The legend of the giant Crewmate is now in Among Us, and he is roaming around the airship map, trying to take down the airship and eliminating the crewmates. If you ever see this giant Crewmate in Among Us, run. Also, if you enjoy these type of story videos, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel with the bell icon turned on. That way I know you want to see more of these type of videos. But now, let's begin. In my time of playing Among Us, I never thought I would go up against a giant crewmate, a legend that has been living on the airship map ever since it was created. Since the airship map is one of the newest maps in Among Us, there are still many mysteries that have yet to be discovered. And I managed to find one of these mysteries as I was playing. It all started when I played Among Us at 3 AM. I was getting ready to go to bed, but I decided to play a few matches of Among Us with a couple of my friends, since we didn't really want to go back to bed. In the first match, I was a crewmate, so I knew that I had to do a couple of tasks to win this game of Among Us, which was my goal, of course. I started off my first task by picking up the towels, but as I was doing my task, the ground began to shake, almost as if the airship map was moving. There is no way that there could be an earthquake on the airship map since it's in the air and it's called the airship map for a reason. But let me clean this disgusting toilet first. Now I need to find out what caused the airship map to move like that. Maybe there were some wind turbulence. As a crewmate who plays Among Us for a living, I know my fair share of wind turbulences since I play so often. Now it's time for me to reset these breakers before my boss gets mad at me. I wonder what the captain is up to. I managed to complete the task after several minutes, and the airship map began to move once again. So I decided to take a look outside, and everything around me became really dark, almost as if it became nighttime. And out in the distance, I saw a giant hand. A giant shadow. It almost looked like a crewmate, but who could that be out in the distance? I've never seen a crewmate that big. Who could that be? I made sure to run out of there as soon as possible, but one of the bodies was reported, and I let the crewmates know that there was a giant crewmate, but the crewmates decided not to listen to my warning. On the ejection screen, I saw the giant crewmate walking in the background, most likely approaching the airship map. I ran down the main hall to look for my next task, which was at the viewing deck. And we all know that's the location where we saw the giant crewmate, an Among Us legend that I have heard about before. I completed my task and I made sure to get as far away as possible from the windows. You do not want to get grabbed by the giant crewmate. I went back to the main hall and I had to fix another wire, which was one of my final tasks. Now I needed to complete one more wire, and I can finally continue to investigate this mystery. I completed my task, and now I wanted to check what was going on outside, but at that very moment the airship moved once again, most likely caused by the giant crewmate outside. I wonder what this giant crewmate wants from us. I went into the cockpit, and that's when I saw the giant crewmate standing right in front of me. He looked very evil. He had a cape going around his neck, and he had horns on his head, and he looked very angry with that visor. He then used his hand and smashed the airship, and I made sure to run out of there as soon as possible. The smash on the airship made the lights go off, and I had to go fix them. That's if I could, at least. I was getting really nervous over this giant crewmate. I need to make sure that the rest of the crewmates do their task so we can get this win of Among Us and escape. Luckily, I decided to stick with a few of my buddies for a little bit, but I knew that I couldn't be near them. I may need their help later on, and I can't let the giant crewmate know that I'm working with them. I went to medical to see if I could get any detections on the giant crewmate, just in case he may be a crewmate himself and not just an imposter. But I couldn't see him on the vitals, so maybe he is the imposter, or maybe he's too big to get registered. Since I couldn't get any helpful information, I decided to make my escape into electrical. and up to the main hall, where I could hopefully find some more information from other witnesses that are on the airship. As I was walking around looking for someone to talk to, the airship moved once again. But this time it happened while I was in the meeting room, so I decided to go down the ladders, and that's when I saw the giant crewmate outside the window. He was staring at me, making sure that I wouldn't escape. But since I'm so little, I could run away and it may be hard for him to find me. Luckily, as I made my escape, I managed to find two of my friends, which was Cheesecake and Susposter. These are a few of my friends that I play Among Us with whenever I get online at 3 in the morning, since they like to look for mysteries as well, just like me, and maybe some of you as well. I decided to stick with my fellow friends so we could take down this giant crewmate once and for all and win this game of Among Us. But first, we need to make sure that we fix communications in case we need to call for backup. We managed to find more recruits to take down this giant crewmate. It was now 4 of us, and we needed to make sure that we stuck together just in case something bad happened. I then finally decided that it was time for us to take down this giant crewmate. I managed to build up my small army of crewmates, and we were all rushing for the viewing deck. We made it outside, and that's when the giant crewmate appeared, and all of my friends decided to run away, and I was left by myself. I then used one of my secret abilities, which was a giant laser, and I managed to shock the giant crewmate away. I saved my friends. If you enjoyed this story video, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. And check out these other story videos.